Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our Israelite Advanced Bible Study night, Tuesday night, the 3rd of September, 2024. Okay, the title inside the class is we'll be dealing with Joseph and Potiphar. When we go back to that story and check it out. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can check out and examine. And all these videos will connect God for you and lead you into the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. We have our cash app at the bottom of the screen, so feel the need to support the channel. That too would be greatly appreciated. Okay. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts, our Redeemer. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Israelite Advanced Bible Study. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Psalms, and then we do some current events, some need-to-know information, and then we open it up for some Q&A and some dialogue. And then, like I said before, we go into our topic, which is Joseph and Potiphar, and we go back and re-examine that story. Okay, we're going to be dealing with the story that's in the book of Joshua. So then we close out from there. Okay, this moment of silence for the Lord of Hosts, and all He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, we come this day, bow down and honoring you, praising you, and believing in you. And we thank you for your wisdom and your knowledge that you have poured out upon us. And we see you now within the Holy Scriptures, oh Lord, and we trust you with all our heart and all our soul. Keep not that silence, but shine forth on our enemies with thy great power and thy great glory. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, I'll read a psalm. Okay. Okay. Let me read Psalms 39. It's a prayer for self-understanding. Okay, Psalm of David. It says, I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with a bridle, while the wicked is before me. I was dumb with silence. I held my peace, even from good, and my sorrows were stirred. My heart was not within me, was hot within me, while I was using the fire burned. Then spake I with my tongue, Lord, make me to know my end, and the measure of my days, that it is, that I may know how frail I am. Behold, thou hast made my days as a handbreadth, and my age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. Selah. Surely every man walketh in a vain show. Surely they are disquieted in vain. He heapeth up riches and knoweth not who shall gather them. And now, Lord, what wait I for? My hope is in thee. Deliver me from all my transgressions, and make me not the reproach of the foolish. I was dumb. I opened not my mouth, because they did it. Thou did it. Remove thy stroke away from me. I am consumed by blows of thine hand. When thou with rebukes doeth correct man for iniquity, thou maketh his beauty to consume away like a moth. Surely every man is vanity. Selah. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and give ear unto my cry, and hold not thy peace in my tears. for I am a stranger with thee in a sojourn, as all my fathers were. Oh, spare me that I may recover strength before I go hence and be no more. So this was a Psalm of David, or it's a prayer he had for self-understanding. Okay, anybody have any comments on it? Okay, so in verse 2, David says, somebody has something?
What psalm was that? Number?
Psalm 39.
Okay.
Okay, it says, verse 2 says, I was young with silence, I held my peace, even from good, and my sorrow was stirred up. So, but David said that while his enemies was around, right, because they wishing bad on him, he kept silent and kept his mouth closed, and he waited on the Lord. Okay, so let me say it. We'll go to the current events. Okay, first one I have. Let's check it out. See what it says.
I had a little comment, Leonard.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, David said he kept quiet. And you know, there's a phrase that says that
if you own an LLC
go ahead.
or
I'm trying to stop. Let me stop you. Go ahead.
David said he kept quiet, or he kept silent. And there's a phrase that says silence is golden.
Okay.
But silence is also wisdom. And silence is a protector, You know, sometimes when we speak, if we're not saying what the Most High say, we can make the situation worse than what it really is. So silence is not just golden. Silence is wisdom. Thank you.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Just like what David was saying, to keep himself safe when his enemies around, he just don't talk. To keep him offended, because he don't know what he's gonna say, but who is gonna offend. So rather than say something, he don't say nothing.
Right.
Exactly.
President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has announced that Mexico has frozen all diplomatic relations with the United States and Canada. This comes just a week after the United States criticized Mexico's judicial reform plan that is being backed by President Obrador. Under the new reform, the people of Mexico would directly vote and pick Supreme Court justices. Now, ambassadors from the United States and Canada to Mexico have called the planned judicial reform a major risk to democracy. Taking objection to the comments, President Obrador has accused Washington and Ottawa of domestic interference.
A foreign ambassador should not comment on what is wrong or right in our country. That's not the job of an ambassador. Issues regarding Mexico concern us. Foreigners cannot come. No foreign government can come to talk about issues that only concern Mexicans. It's a basic principle of independence and sovereignty.
Now, President Obrador has threatened the United States against making further statements regarding the judicial reform plan or risk fracturing bilateral trade. Both the United States and Mexico remain each other's largest trading partners. In addition, the Mexican president has warned Canada of deteriorating bilateral trade as well.
What a coincidence that the Canadian also says something at the same time. Respectfully, with the Canadian government, it gives me secondhand embarrassment. They seem like a partner state. Together, they want to interfere in issues that only concern Mexicans. The relationship will continue, but hopefully, they will ratify that they will be respectful.
Meanwhile, hundreds of Mexican judicial workers continue to protest against the government's court overhaul. Demonstrators have threatened to sue the Obrador administration in international tribunals if the judicial reform proposals aren't rolled back.
They will eliminate our trusts, savings, and reserve funds. They will take them away from us, which obviously undermines our benefits.
se establecerá.
We will also bring legal action before international tribunals to assert our rights and defend judicial careers and independence.
It's also important to note that Claudia Sheinbaum, Mexico's first woman president, who will replace Obrador on October 1st, has put her weight behind the party's judicial reform plan as well.
We want to strengthen the judiciary. It is false that we want to minimize it. How much stronger can a judicial power be if the people elect the judges, ministers, and magistrates? There is nothing stronger than that because they answer to the people.
Relations between Mexico and the United States have been tense for years now. The massive influx of illegal migrants coming through the southern border has seen diplomatic ties stretched to their limits. Moreover, copious amounts of fentanyl entering the United States from Mexico has only exacerbated these tensions. And now, with Mexico's neighbors to the north attacking domestic policies, one has to wonder if the three nations have reached their breaking point. Only time will tell, but as an integral trading partner, the relationship is crucial to not only the domestic economies throughout the region, but certainly the rest of the world as well.
Okay. Anybody see anything in that? Anything wrong with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Wanted to know your thoughts on, okay, Mexico having their first female president. Is that a precursor to what might happen in America? What are your thoughts?
Well, I would say so. You know, because it's already been prophesied that at the end, pretty much, women's supposed to be ruling.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but my thing is, what caught my eye with this video was the nerves. How you trying to tell somebody something when you can't stop all these people from coming across the border?
Right.
You can't even control your own country, but all of a sudden now you're going to freeze all diplomatic ties with America and Canada, but you got over 2/3 of your people coming across the border. Do something with that first. While you trying to freeze the diplomatic ties, y'all need to do something with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is it, in your estimation, why is it that America has always tried to police the world?
Well, the thing is with that, it came to a point now where it got them in trouble, but that's the facade that they want everybody to think that anybody can come here and prosper the American dream and all that. But they got a hidden agenda behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's coming back to bite them now because we don't need nobody else over here. We got too many issues of our own. We don't need nobody coming here. And now they trying to get all these Mexicans over here.
Mm-hmm.
Backfire. It's called, we already trillions of dollars in debt. And they steady got bringing people over here and trying to take care of them. It's one thing allowing them to come over here, but you're trying to take care of them. You're trying to give them first class amenities.
Right. Okay. So. Okay. How can what are they trying to evoke in the American people by bringing foreigners and taking care of them in a first-class way when our streets are lined with unfortunate and homeless people? What is the message? What is the agenda, do you think?
Well, when you look at prophecy and look at the Bible, and then you can see it unfolding. It's at a point now where, just like with Joseph and Lot and Abraham, it came a point that they had to separate. So we've been over here so long till now with all the different things and atrocities that came upon us. Now we at that point where there's nothing else left but us being the Israelites, the people of God, it's time for us to separate. And they know that they can't do nothing about it. And so they trying to be ahead of the game and bring another servant over here, which is the Mexican, take our place. And then, and not only that, just like when they first the Emancipation Proclamation first happened, we was taking over we was taking over the Senate and all that. They came in and ran us out of the Senate and killed us all. Now that's happening again.
Right.
Black people start to take over everything as far as the big major job, education, all of them, they getting educated, and so now they no longer, they know they can't take us back. So now they bring in another class to push us out.
Right. And then my last point: are we still under Deuteronomy 28, beginning with verse 16?
Yeah, exactly. That's my whole point. I've been talking about lately here. You keep hearing all these people coming up with these videos about 400 years is up. They ain't up. We still in the same curses. We still in the same predicament. How was it up? We saw a visible sign in when they was in Babylon, when they was in Egypt, and when they was in Babylon. Moses showed up when they was in Egypt, and then everything changed. Then in the middle of the night, the Lord of hosts came and they released them. They left. It was a time appointed. Babylon, he told them to go to Babylon for 70 years. Then I'm gonna bring you out. After the 70 years, he showed up and brought them out. It was they saw a visible sign that they got brought out. So how can the curses be over with when we still here?
So the curses, for the longest time, I was like, oh my God, was the wrong that we did so horrific that we gotta, stay under these curses for the rest of our lives? There was a time when I did not associate all of the things that I saw us going through as a people. I did not know to associate it to Deuteronomy 28. But when you go back and you carefully read Deuteronomy 28 and beginning with verse 15 or 16, where the curses start, it's like it's a picture, a portrait of everything that we are experiencing. So Leonard, what will we see or notice to know that perhaps a relief is coming? I mean, we're getting from under these consequences.
Yeah, so I was talking about a while back how identifying the hand of the Lord, right? People, you see that in the scriptures, but nobody really understands what that means when it says the hand of the Lord. So, like for example, now you got these white pastors. All of a sudden they come out of the blue. As a matter of fact, I got one guy out here. I'm gonna play it. All of a sudden they come out of the blue and they saying that we are the people of the book. And then the things that they're doing, and the things that's happening, like I was saying, like what happened in Alabama. We've been docile. Nobody went, they do whatever they want to us, and now we see that that's been taken away. And then the docile and the fear is now on them. When you go out to the gas stations and all that, you see that they fear you now. Everything has changed, and that goes back. I last week. Matter of fact, I was dealing with a story that was in Shechem when the guy took Dana and raped her. You know the story?
Yes.
And then Jacob's two of his sons came there and they killed the whole town. They slaughtered everybody. But Jacob was afraid. which kind of throw me off. But Jacob was afraid because the Shulamites is just a remnant or a small part of all the Canaanites that's in that whole region, and them was all people of giants, more or less they were giants. So Jacob was afraid that after they done that, they was gonna spark anger and all the rest of them, and they was gonna come and overtake him, right? But the Lord told him that he gave the two boys honor. He gave for righteousness for what they done. Then he said, but I done put my fear in all the rest of the Canaanites. So
he put his spirit for them to be afraid of David now.
Right, be afraid. So they thought that Jacob thinking that they're gonna get angry and come attack them when the Most High put fear in them. They ain't do nothing. So that's the hand of the Lord. So we see that now. And he tells us that in Isaiah chapter 60 that arise and shine. For our light is that time has come, the light has come, and I have risen over you.
Yeah.
And then he says, and I'm gonna turn the forces of the Gentiles back towards you. That's what we're looking at. We see he turned his hand back to us. So you say, what are you talking about? It's no different than that when Moses came back. People don't really look at it, but the Lord, just like he went when Sarah got harsh with Hagar and Hagar left, and the Lord went and got Hagar and brought her back and told her to submit to her. Well, he went and he met Moses on Mount Sinai, on Mount Horeb, told him, I want you to go and deliver my people. And then at the same time, he went to Goshen and told Aaron to come meet Moses. I was afraid, you know what I'm saying? Because his tongue was to talk. But he said, don't worry about that. I already got Aaron. Aaron gonna be your mouthpiece. Aaron gonna be with you. So all of a sudden, here come Moses. Everybody thought he was dead. Moses showed back up in Egypt. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Moses, you know something happened. Moses then came back, and then just imagine the Egyptians when they heard Moses was back.
Right.
Right now, we see the hand of the Lord. Everything is nothing is the same. It's a change. You get under 8-degree turn. It's a process. We in a process of being delivered.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay, so here we go right here. This is another one of those examples I was talking about right here. How this is the hand of the Lord right here, but check it out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Some very, very concerning information has been shared with me by one of my viewers. Take a look at this, family. They are saying that an army has taken over a hotel in New York City at the request of the state of New York. Now, the guy goes in with his camera and he's asking questions, and immediately they shut it down. They tell him he cannot record. So anyway, I want you to take a look at this very, very concerning clip. And of course, I will be right back.
Name of a restaurant in Chinese, it might not work. Is the army turning this thing into a migrant shelter? Why are you guys here? It's a hotel. Why is the army at this hotel? We're here at the request of the state of New York. The state of New York has put the army into hotels? What the hell is that about? This is a public hotel, right? What is the army doing in this hotel? Have you guys taken over this hotel? What is? So you can't. What the fuck is the army doing taking over civilian hotels in the middle of New York City? I can't record. So this is what I'm talking about, people. Do you think those guys are there to help you or me? What is going on?
Okay, you can best believe that whatever they're there for, they're going to tell you that they're just doing their job. Y'all see how they shut him down? They told him he cannot record, and he's bothered by that too. Now, some of the guys at the desk did answer his question when he asked what's going on. They answered it a little bit. They said, well, we're here at the request of the state of New York. So you got to ask yourself, why are they standing guard outside of the doors? Now, that part could have been explained a little bit. But when you see them sitting behind the desk, that lets you know that they are watching who comes and goes, that they are guarding who comes and goes. Like I said, just seeing a few of them standing around outside, of course, that's going to raise some questions and some concerns. But when you see them sitting behind the desk where normally there is a clerk sitting, you have to ask, what's going on here? What is going on in this country? Now, we know that a lot is going on. They're doing some things now right in front of us, right under our noses, right in our faces, out in the open, right? But then there are some covert operations as well. We have an overt operation and covert both going on. Some things they're letting us see, some things they are not. But it is all very concerning, especially with all that has happened over the past few years, all of the different reports that are coming out. And anyone who follows this channel knows that we're more concerned with the prophecies concerning the end times, that, you know, the Bible speaks of the perilous times, distress and perplexity of nations. All kinds of events are going to take place that are going to not only concern mankind, but have it to the point where some people are going to want to be out of here, if you know what I mean, right? The situation in the world is only going to go from bad to worse. And as we continue to get closer and closer and further into all of this stuff, we better make sure that our anchor holds and grips a solid rock. This is no time to be playing around, family. We need to know and understand that the Most High, He has set some things in motion. There are many things that have been prophesied, and we've got to come to terms with the fact that it's now that these things are being fulfilled. Too many times I hear people who want to push it down the line. We're always running across people who thinks that they have time to do this and they have time to do that, and they have nothing to worry about. Nothing to prepare for, nothing to be concerned about. They're literally still trying to map out their path to the American dream, when the scripture makes it very clear that the signs of the time are going to be clear to those who can hear the voice of the Most High. And when those people choose to sound the alarm and warn the others, you better take heed. Let's take heed to the things that are happening in this world and how close we are getting to the unfolding of end times.
Okay, any comments on that? I can see you tripping out. You got any comments on that?
Yes, absolutely. When
Okay.
when she speaks about covert and overt, is that just operations that are done openly and operations that are done underground or behind the scenes? Is that what that means?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. So she was saying that the people that would, I guess the military or the army or whoever was not just guarding the hotel on the outside, they're literally sitting at the desk in place of the receptionist.
Right. Yeah. They was at the military was the one running the hotel. They were behind the counter and all that, running the whole motel.
So what does that mean to us, Leonard? What is that?
Well, I don't know if you've been paying attention to it, but you seen when these Mexican gangs that took over apartment complexes and then took over motels. Then came in, ran out the regular tenants, and they took over motels. A couple of motels
in the U.S. or Mexico?
In here, in America. in Colorado.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they just killed a cop in Dallas. These gang members from these Mexican gangs. And so what I was saying earlier was about the hand of the Lord. Now, all these years, especially the last since the 60s and 70s, the thing being that the black man, the black people, they so absurd, they so niggerish and all that. Well, come on, how you like it now? We ain't never try to take over no hotel.
Right.
Or try to take over no apartment complex.
Right.
Okay. So
okay.
Again, yeah, go ahead.
No, so you're saying what?
So this hand of the Lord. All this time you wanted to act like we was a scourge and that we was inhuman and we doing all this stuff. Now you brought these Mexicans over here. They showing you how to be absurd and how to be an animal.
Right.
All the history in America, we ain't never did that.
Right.
With these folks.
Right. And go ahead. A couple of years back, not very long ago, rumors and talks and discussions were swirling about martial law. Do you see that coming on the horizon?
Oh yeah, yes, it's coming. They got it set up for that. That's what it's all. That's one of the reasons why they bringing all these people over here. And then, like I was saying before, they gave them money and all that, right? And so now they done got used to that money. And now
they did what with the money?
They didn't got used to it. Their head done got big. They think they are over.
Yeah.
If you remember, I mean, I know me about 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, you couldn't get 2 words out of a Mexican. You go somewhere and sit in the corner and he shut up. Now all of a sudden, they walking around looking at us like we crazy, and they running around with all this money, buying all these cars and all that. And half of them ain't even got legal yet. So they have no respect for nothing. So how did this happen? How did you get from trying to cross the border one day to the next day you try to take over a motel in a state or a city and ain't none of yours?
Right.
There's the government behind that.
So are they trying to incite something in Black people or?
Right.
Okay.
Well, like I was saying before, when you understand who Esau is and the bankers and all that, America was a number of the Frankenstein monster, right? From a financial perspective, because Esau created America, it's already served its purpose. They didn't got filthy rich, but they didn't came up with a bigger scheme. Now that you got globalization, so now that's why they bringing America down and they bringing China up. China is the new Frankenstein monster they created. So you say, what are you talking about? They did the same thing with Great Britain back in the day. Great Britain was the Frankenstein monster. It rised up. They ruled everything. They ruled the seas. Then when they was tired of it, they came in with the Second World War, brought Great Britain down and brought America up.
Right.
We see them doing it again. That's what I was saying about when you go to Jasher and you look at the 4 beasts that Daniel described. Daniel said the 4 beasts is diverse from the other 3 because it's able to transform itself.
Yes.
So, like I said, we're still in the 4th beast, but we're not over in Rome.
Okay.
So it didn't transform itself 9 times. We look at the last time, China the 10th transformation. And like I said before, we didn't get the Chaldeans came and brought us into captivity in Babylon, but the Chaldeans didn't deliver us.
Right.
The Persians delivered us. So the Americans brought us over here, but it's Chinese.
that's going to deliver. It's going to send us back.
So China backdoor was. Do you think that China has been in control under the table, but they were just allowing America to have its run or its heyday?
Yeah, well, it's not China. You got to go back and look at the blueprint. It's a woman riding on the four beasts. Right?
Yeah.
Who's that woman?
Is it America?
A harlot. It's a harlot. Matter of fact, a whore. It's a whore. It's a harlot riding on the four beasts, controlling
Right.
it. So
the fourth beast is
Go ahead.
Is the fourth beast okay? So it was Babylon, the Medes and the Persians, the Greeks, and then Rome.
Right.
And so you saying America?
It's a woman on the four beasts controlling it from its conception. Before
So
America
who is the
came.
woman?
Esau, Edomites.
Okay.
Ain't they in the land of Israel right now, posing as Israel?
Right.
That's the woman. That's the whore. We the real woman.
Okay.
Yeah. So all this time, Esau, he's the one, the bankers. He's the one dealing with usury and all that. He's been transforming four beasts. Before it fall, he relocate to another location. But you're still in the four beasts.
Okay.
Rome's still there. The Vatican's still there, but the head, he keep relocating the head.
Okay.
When he gets there, he didn't figure out empire rise and fall. He looked at the first three and saw how they rose and fall in the same place. But he got a blueprint where he rise, get all the wealth out of it, then he relocate. So we see it. It went from there to let me get my little list right here. It went from there, and I just recently found out who the 10th one, the other one was. But you had the Republic of Rome, then you had the Holy Roman Empire, then the Byzantine Empire, all these four beasts. Then the Normans came, French came, the Ottoman Empire, then the British Empire. Okay, then now
all of this American is Rome.
All these four beasts. That's what he says. It diverts from the other three.
Okay.
So, been able to transform himself and relocate. And Esau is the one controlling that. The international bankers. And so when we looking at it play out in front of our face right now because they bringing America down and they rise.
Right.
And that's the 10th and final. They tell you in Revelations the 10 toes is 10 kings.
Yeah.
But it's 10 different incarnations of the same beast.
Okay.
That's where we at. We're the last one. That's why everything's going down the way it is.
So we are living and witnessing the prophecy or the word of the Lord as it relates to the 10, not the 10 kingdoms, but the 10 variations of that same. Right. Okay.
Same beast, right? Transforming itself. But it's Esau. Like I said, it's a woman behind it. That's riding on Esau. He's first of all, the four beasts is Edom. Rome is Edom. Rome and Edom came together and merged, and they became one people. So Rome is Edom. People don't know that, but Rome is Edom. So he's able to relocate and change itself and go to different places. Like back in the 1980s, we wasn't paying no attention to it, but now that we awakened, looking at it, all Caterpillar. I remember because I came up dealing with that type of equipment from my dad.
Yeah.
Caterpillar and all these countries, all of a sudden they disappeared. You didn't see no more. Right. We could have found out they all went to China. So he started right there building China. China ain't just come out the blue to where it's at today. Esau started sending all his resources over there and build it up.
Right, and the factories.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I said also the factories, because you had people,
Right.
You had a middle class that was supported by the factories.
Exactly.
You know, you had people graduating high school and going to work in factories, and they made a decent living, you know?
Right.
Then all of a sudden,
it was more important. It was more important going to college because the job was so good.
Right. So one last question. Why do they call the person riding, why do they call it a woman or a whore? What is the significance of that?
Okay. Go to chapter Isaiah 62.
Isaiah 62.
Right. Isaiah 62. Let me get it.
I'm thinking they calling are they calling it a whore because they're merchants selling something? I don't know.
So I'm in 62. You got it?
Getting there. I got it. 62 and what?
So I'm starting at verse 1. You'll see what I'm talking about. 62 says the title is the restoration of Zion. So Zion is a woman. Okay. Say, for Zion's sake will I not hold my peace. Zion's sake I will not hold my peace. For Jerusalem is a woman. For Jerusalem's sake I will not rest until righteousness thereof goeth forth as the bright brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. And the Gentiles, see that's who we dealing with now. The Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all the kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. Thou also will be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem in the hand of the God. And thou shalt no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land anymore be termed desolate, but thou shalt be called Hezbollah, and thy land Beulah, for the Lord delighteth in thee, and the land shall be married. See that? Right? That's the woman. Israel, the woman, says it for as the young man marrieth a virgin, so shall the sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall God rejoice over thee. I have watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night, that ye may mention the Lord and keep not silent. So we see right here, Israel is the woman.
Okay.
That's his bride.
And so that woman that's on that beast is a pseudo or a fake.
Fake, posing as a real woman. A harlot.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
Right. So you can't be a harlot and don't be nasty. Okay.
Say more.
I mean, you can't be a harlot and don't be nasty. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, my computer tripped out. Let me see if I can get it right.
Shalom, everyone. Brother Leonard, the last video that you just played with the military being at the hotel in New York, right? So this hotel has been sheltering migrants since 2023, right?
Exactly.
So we got to look at they're being protected also. For whatever reason, they're being protected also. So we look at the Asian hate crime bill, right? That protect the Asians. Now they are protecting the Mexicans. I don't know. They feel as though they're being targeted for some reason. So they feel as though there has to be some type of force to come in to protect these people. Now you think about if we go in a 5-star hotel and we are paying people, right? Black people, they're gonna look at us like we're not even supposed to be there. So and we're paying people, but they freely give them these elegant hotels to live in for free with maid service and so forth, right? Yes. And so when he had asked the guy had asked a question, like he said, something like, "Why is the Army at this hotel?"
Right.
And the soldier come back and he said something like, "We're here at the request of the state of New York."
Mm.
So that lets you know that, like you said, government is behind that. They can come in at any time they want to. But again, you got Aura in Colorado. They're having no help for these people that is living in these apartment complexes, right? They have
Right.
just taken over them. So where's the government there?
Right.
Right. It's a scheme, like I was saying before. And me looking at that, they trying to take that motel over.
Yes, sir.
See what I'm saying? And so now it's not just happening in New York, it's in 4 or 5 other different places. So like I was saying before, that's the hand of the Lord, because like I said before, your thing was that Negroes, so everywhere they go, they tearing up stuff. But we ain't got nothing on these migrants you bringing over here. And over half of them, they emptied out of the prison houses.
Yes.
So now
that's part of the curse.
Right. You got to eat that, because these folks showing you, well, we civilized compared to what they doing.
Exactly. Yes. And Isaiah 43:5 says, "Fear not, for I am with thee." So we serve a God with all the power. So therefore, because we're not getting any protection, look at that, we're not getting any protection. So we got to look at it as our protection comes from the Most High and the Most High only. So I'm good on that. But I was
That's
just
right.
yes, I was pointing that out.
Right. You can see.
So
you can see that. You can see that. Like I said, nobody understand. Nobody really looks at how he flipped what he did to the Pharaoh. Come on, that wasn't no white man. That wasn't no white man.
Right.
He flipped on Pharaoh. If you look at now, it's being flipped. They too ignorant to see it.
When you say, okay, so Michelle was saying the occupants in that hotel are foreigners.
Oh yeah. They bought the rooms for them. They pretty much bought all the rooms up for the migrants to stay there.
Okay, I didn't understand that. I thought the people in the hotel were just regular people.
No. They're doing it all over the place. They giving them $5,000 spending cards and all that, and then buying them rooms.
Wow.
Yeah, all over the place. So like I said, it's Esau behind it. He's trying to trigger friction between the Mexican and the
Israelites.
African. Right.
So okay, I have a better understanding now. So if any citizens in New York get so upset that the government is taking care of those foreigners, those military people are there to protect those foreigners.
Right. Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Right. But it's backfired now, because they all up in the motel. First of all, you got to ask yourself, just like all the drama that was going on in Chicago back in the day with the guns, where they getting the guns from?
Right.
So now these Mexicans took over a whole apartment complex in Colorado with these guns, semi-automatic guns. Like I said, how you get where you get the guns from?
Right.
2 days ago, you trying to get under the barbed wire. Now you got semi-automatic weapons.
Right.
Come on, man.
So is it the same situation in Colorado? They are protecting foreigners?
It's a lot more places than they even telling us. That's why we're starting to see the military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't understand that.
Right, and then you have to go. You got to go when you get a chance. Google I think that's MS-13. It's a real violent Mexican gang out of Mexico. Once they started letting all these people over here, they starting to come like flies. And they terrorizing Chicago and New York, they going stealing everybody's phones on while they ride by you on the phone, ride by you on motorcycles. How they get the motorcycles, I don't know. But they ride by you on motorcycles, snatching your phone.
For such a time as
this. Crazy as hell. Like I said,
such a time as this.
You got the Crips and the Bloods and all that. They ain't never try to take no damn motel downtown. Shit, come on,
right.
Man. It's crazy. So and then like I said, it's the Most High though, because it's gonna backfire. It's already backfired on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Ain't that something?
Wow.
So here goes some need to know information.
Mm-hmm.
This part of the plan too, right here.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to share a really short clip with you. In this clip, Al Sharpton is asking Kamala Harris a question about reparations. Now, in this video, she actually promises to sign a bill to pay reparations to so-called Black people if she is elected.
Did you hear that?
Now, it was followed by this very, very animated laugh. So I want to know what your thoughts are. I'm going to share the video clip. Do you believe her? Do you believe she's actually going to do this? Also read the caption on the video clip too. That could explain everything, but the promise was made. So take a look and a listen, and I will be right back.
The area reparations for descendants of Africans enslaved. If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign
it. It sounds like a witch laugh.
Okay, so the promise was made, y'all, and it was followed by this very strange laugh. I mean, it just kept going and going and going, right? Now, I can tell from the caption, the kind of person who wrote this particular message above and below the video. This is a person who don't believe reparations should be paid, because they mentioned something about she's promising this money to Black people from taxpayers' money, right? I would be surprised if it wasn't, the people who think that they own the whole world. I would be very surprised. But it says something about promising taxpayers' money as reparations, knowing that it's not going to even get that far. So she's making this promise, right? And then he talks about this gives us a sneak peek at her policies. Now, if what you're saying is true about it not even going that far to where they would even pass it, what are you complaining about? The thing is, there are people in this world who have seen constantly where reparations or billions of dollars have been sent overseas to Ukraine, it's been sent to Israel, it's been sent to this group or that group, and even with the migrants, I feel like they're getting our reparations. But the minute anyone starts to talk about doing anything for so-called Black folk, these people lose their minds. They lose their minds. They don't want to hear it. But that's all right, though. The Most High God of heaven, as the world calls him, I call him by his name, Yahuwah. He has a way of fixing things, right? See, these people think that he's taken too long to fix things. This is why they continue to allow the pride of their hearts to deceive them. That's what we see happening, the pride of their hearts deceiving them. Yeah.
Okay, anybody have any comments on that? You believe that that's gonna happen?
Shalom. Go ahead, Jeanette.
Go ahead, babe.
No, I was gonna say I don't think so, because isn't there certain steps before the bill gets to her desk anyway? Like, doesn't it have to pass the House, the Senate, and all that other stuff first?
Yeah, that's what he said. If the bill comes to your desk, will you sign it?
Right. So we knowing that I don't think that it's gonna get past them to get to her. And like you said, that was such a wicked laugh, and we already know that she has stated that she wasn't going to do anything to only benefit Black people. She wasn't laughing and giggling when she said that. She had a serious face when she said that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we want to believe she's going to come back and do something. Come on now.
Right. But guess what? The Negroes gonna believe.
Right.
Like they believe that woman.
So,
Only person that's gonna only thing that can save us is Most High, man.
right.
That's it. That's it. It's never gonna. I don't care how black the president is. I don't care how many black grandchildren he got or any of that. There's nobody that's gonna. And that's what I think. You know that he's proven. That's what he's showing you. There, regardless of what happens or who you choose for, or who you make your God or king, nobody's gonna be able to save you or bring you out of this condition but me.
Exactly. Right. That's what he keeps saying over and over in the scriptures. That's why I say that's what we getting brainwashed with people like Al Sharpton. Ain't nobody gonna deliver us, because if they do, then he's saying that that's gonna denigrate him. If somebody else do it and over and over again, I'm gonna do it. So if somebody else come along and do it, you already know it's a forest.
And I was thinking, the race is going to be tight because Trump has a loyal following, and so Kamala is going to use that lie about signing reparations to get votes.
Right. That's what it's all
And
about.
also, the other thing that's in play here, some time ago, you educated us on the fraternities and sororities that are connected to the ruling families in the world. So Kamala is an AKA, and that's huge. I'm talking, that's one of the largest sororities. So she's got, they're gonna pull those strings. They're gonna pull the reparation string, and I like what the lady said. She said their pride. See, they think that if the Most High have not rescued his people yet, he ain't coming to rescue them. Ain't nobody coming for them.
Right.
So their pride, they're swollen up on their pride, and I just hope that I can see a glimpse of when he starts to take them down.
Oh yeah. It's right around the corner. It's like I said, we starting to see it now. It's just that, like he told them when they went into the land of Canaan, he says he's gonna send the Lord before them, and little by little, drive them out.
Yeah.
And that's how they've been dealing with us. Every time they took me, because it's a little slow phase, and then when you look up, they hoodwink you, but you never even saw it because of the way they done it.
Right. I was I was listening to a conversation today, and the conversation was, how there's so much going on with the food and what they call food. Okay, we know that is something else because they're actually making meat with a machine. So this one brother was saying on the discussion, why is everybody concerned about the food? Because Jesus died and cleansed all the food. I thought to myself, what the world? They still sold out on that, on that carpenter from Galilee.
Ain't that something? They ask, and then just don't look at the mechanics of it. That's crazy. Oh yeah.
Right.
So I'm opening up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments, or about anything that we deal with, you heard on the channel, or you heard during the classes, or whatever, or something you came across by studying? Anybody got anything they want to bring to the table when we talk about it?
Shalom, everyone. I just wanted to make a quick comment on that. When we look at idols, right, we also got to look at Al Sharpton and those people, Kamala, Barack Obama, we seem to fall and worship these people and thinking they're going to do so much for us when they're not going to do anything for us. So a lot of people, when they read the scriptures and they say idol, they're looking at someone like the Buddha or JC or something like that. And instead of, you know, when the Lord of hosts speaks, he tells you there are no other gods before me.
Right.
So we fall by the wayside and we thinking that these people are our savior, and they're not.
That's a slave mentality.
Right. D-Ray, he hit that nail on the head when he said that. You know, the Lord of hosts is the only one that is gonna come and save us. We cannot depend on no one else, but I truly believe in the midst of all of this, he is protecting us because he changes not. Malachi tells us that he changes not. So you read Isaiah chapter 44, no other gods. He's telling us right there.
Right. Exactly.
That's true.
Right. Then he said that if it hadn't been for him, we'd be consumed. So all you gotta do is look at all. He got to be watching over us because we look at all the atrocities that happen to us. We don't supposed to be here.
Right.
And Jeanette was speaking about all the foods, the unclean food, the 3D meat printing, all of that. If it was not for him, we would, oh man, we would be in bad shape. Yeah.
Right. The other to add to that, to piggyback on that, you know, everybody is talking about what you can do to make a lot of money. Everybody's talking about what you can do to start a business and all of this. And that's an idol too. Material possessions to get us off focus of the most valuable thing is our soul and our connection to the Most High. You know, they just continue to talk about, and during this time, there's more millionaires than have ever, you know, ever existed or whatever. But at the end of the day, the money can't buy you a ticket with the Most High.
So okay.
Come on.
You know, so that's a deterrent. It's a distraction. Everywhere, every social media outlet is talking about what bank you can get a loan from and how you can do this and how you can earn this and earn that. But at the end of the day, our Father is rich in houses and land more than anybody.
Right. That's what I'm gonna say. There's always two sides to the coin. Like when you start talking about wisdom, well, it's a wisdom that came from heaven that Solomon, David, and all them had. Then you got another wisdom. So the same thing right there. Wealth. There's two different types of wealth. You got the wealth that we dealing with now. It's ill-gotten gains. They got it from a wicked way, and they ain't get it the way. Look how Abraham got his wealth. Lot, and then look what Laban tried to trick Jacob. Jacob ended up. That's righteousness. They got their wealth by righteousness. So that's a different type of wealth. That's what everybody caught up in. That wicked wealth that they didn't create. Or it go back to, like I was saying, thinking like a Hebrew. When you chasing money like that, you're not thinking like no Hebrew.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then you can't even see that the times. You can't see the things that's going on around you. That's the last thing you need to be worried about is trying to get some money or get some wealth.
Right.
You're trying to maintain, but come on. It's like 3 days before the flood. And you're trying to get wealth.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how another thing to look at. That's how you know it's a remnant, because most people they on that they're on that road you're talking about. They're so caught up in
all the wrong things, and you know, and like I was talking to somebody the other day. Can you imagine a black person in America and don't know what Hebrew Israelite is, what it means?
Right.
Can you imagine that? With all the information, all the internet and everything, you never came across the word Hebrew Israelite. You never seen nobody on the corner trying to preach, or you ain't seen it on YouTube. Come on.
Right.
That's a total disconnect. And you'd be amazed how many people are like that. They have no clue. Yeah. That's crazy.
Leonard, could you read a little bit of Deuteronomy 28, like the first 5 verses of the blessings, and then go over to the first 5 blessings of the curses? Because it's so, I mean, just so clear, so plain. Like it's you know how he tells us that he's gonna he puts before us life and death. Right? Go ahead.
Exactly. So I'll read the last 5 verse blessings, right? It's verse 10. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. I just talked about that. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods. Right? This is the righteous way I told you to get rich. In fruit of the body, and in fruit of thy cattle, and in fruit of thy ground, and in the land which the Lord swore to thy fathers to give thee. The Lord shall open unto thee the good treasures, the heavens, to give the rain unto thee, thy land in his season, and to bless all the works of thy hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. And if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them, and thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which the Lord command thee this day, to the right hand, to the left, or to go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe the due commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be.
Leonard.
Okay.
How are people saying, when we get to the New Testament, that this is null and void?
Right. Somebody that's brainwashed. That's what that is. Because it's so obvious.
Go ahead.
It's so obvious. So 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city. Cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall thou be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the increase of thy king, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send thou settest thy hand unto the dew, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, when you look at the blessings, he said he's gonna bless everything that you put your hands to do, because you obey him. And then when you disobey him, he's gonna curse everything that you do with your hands. You know, it's like, it's just, there was a time when I didn't see it that plain. You know, he's gonna bless the fruit of your womb. In other words, he's gonna bless your children. And then when you disobey him, he's gonna curse the fruit of your womb. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
It's like our decisions have to be made with our children in mind. Oh,
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, so it's another thing that I really don't bring it up until they come up and I mention it. But like I was saying, right here, what we reading, especially this last, I just read verse 20, the Lord shall send upon thee curses, vexation, rebuke, in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed. See that? Until thou
yeah.
be destroyed, and until thou perish. See that? Nobody dealing with this. Till thou be destroyed, until thou perish quickly, because of thy wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken it. Now, what I want to show you is go to Jeremiah. You got your Bible right there. I want to show you something. So we just talked about why we still here. Why is it a remnant of us still here? Let's look at, go to Jeremiah 24.
Okay.
Let me know when you get it.
Got it.
Okay. So I mean, just the good and the bad fig, right? So Israelite, righteous fig and the unrighteous fig. So I'm starting at verse or they're getting ready to go to Babylon. 24:1. The Lord showed me, behold, 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of the Lord. After Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and the princes thereof of Judah, with the carpenters and the smiths and from Jerusalem, and had brought them to Babylon. Now here you go. 2. 1 basket had very good figs, even like the good figs that are first ripe, and the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten. They were so bad. Then said the Lord unto me, what seest thou, Jeremiah? And I said, figs, good figs, very good, and evil figs, very evil. They cannot be eaten. They are so evil. And again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, like these good figs. See that? So will I acknowledge them that are carried away. See, they carried away, but he's still acknowledging it. See that? Carried away, captive of Judah, when I have sent out of this place unto the land of the Chaldeans for their good. So you had a righteous fig that was sent out of Jerusalem in 143 BC to scatter over the world for their good. Now watch this. For I will set my eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again. See that? And we going back. I will bring them again to this land, and I will build them, and I'll not pull them down, and I will plant them, and not pluck them up, and I will give them a heart to know me, that I am the Lord.
Yeah.
And they shall be my people, and I will be their God, for they shall return. They shall return unto me with their whole heart. Now here you go. As for the wicked fig, the evil fig, which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely thus says the Lord, so will I give Zedekiah, king of Judah, his princes, the residue of Jerusalem that remain in the land, and them that dwell in the land of Egypt, I will deliver them to be removed. Notice what I just read in Curses in verse 20. I will deliver them to be removed into the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach and a proverb, a taunt and a curse in all the places where I should be driven. Now watch this. And I will send a sword, famine, pestilence among them till they be destroyed, consumed from off the land that I gave unto them. See, so he destroyed them.
Yes.
So we the remnant of the good seed. That's why we still here. Come on.
Amen.
Ain't that
Wow.
something?
Yeah.
And so we're gonna return. The remnant of the good figs is gonna return. Yeah. Ain't that something? That's the only reason we still here.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're still here. We're still here based on the good decisions of our ancestors that were good. You know what I'm saying? Like we say, we have to make decisions with our children in mind, because the decisions that we make set the path or govern them.
Right.
Just like our ancestors, like our ancestors the good figs because they stayed true to the Most High.
Right.
Here we are.
Right. But like he said, that's the point I was saying. But although like a lot of people don't understand that when you start talking about those houses, those lineages, that when it came time for us to be cast out of the land and we scattered over the whole world, you had lineages after lineage after lineage that had was drawn to the Lord, was connected at the hip with him, but they had to be cast out too, along with the wicked.
Oh yeah.
So when you start talking about we waking up now, and you say, "Oh, I'm from my lineage go all the way back to Guyana. My lineage go all the way back to this and that." No, it go back to this.
Come on.
It's righteousness. It's righteousness where it go back to.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
The only reason we still here.
Wow.
And there's something. And he said that go for that good feed, so will I acknowledge them and I'll return them. But he totally annihilated the wicked feed.
Right. So Leonard, so when we say stuff like we're gonna call on the ancestors, is that good?
No.
Or
that's out of Egypt.
That's what, babe?
That's out of Egypt.
Okay, so how do we acknowledge our good fig and ancestors?
Well, we keep them in mind by from having to be in due diligence and searching out the scriptures, but to exonerate them and all that, that ain't good.
Okay,
so that's praying to them.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I was talking about before I was watching this channel. I gave everybody on the line about when you start talking about African, after you being African, whether it be an Israelite, the African, well, hell, Nimrod, and what his name, Akhenaten. That's their ancestors. They come from the giants, from the four lands. So that's why they saying they can say they talk about their ancestors. They ain't, what's that? Exonerate their ancestors. That's their ancestors. Like I said, if you go to King Genesis chapter 10, I was showing you from chapter 13, from verse 13 all the way to 20, them all giants from Mesopotamian, one of Ham's sons. And we know that what I am on the end of that word is, that's the Egyptians.
Right.
The Egyptians descended from the fallen angels.
Okay.
Everyone in the from Mesopotamian all the way down to verse 20 is giants. We're not African.
So we are we do not desire to communicate, so to speak, or to try to get guidance, so to speak. No. Okay, what is that? Is that necromancy?
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's the same thing that Saul did when he tried to raise up Samuel.
Okay. So this is my last. Yeah. So what about Ezekiel 37?
That's a promise that the Lord of hosts made to them. That's what I was saying. Ezekiel 37 is our ancestors that he made that covenant with them. They had nothing to do with us. He told them, if you go to Daniel said that at the end of the four beasts, a stone was gonna come that was called, that wasn't called by hands, and strike the image at the feet. Right. So, and he said that's the saints of the Most High. Go take the kingdom. So what's the saint? What's the saint? A dead person that came back to life.
Right. Okay.
So that he made that covenant before he even was born. He made that covenant with them. That's why he says at the end of Malachi that that's what Elijah for. He says he's gonna raise Elijah up at the very end Elijah gonna bring the children, which is us, back to the Father that he raised up in Ezekiel 37.
Okay.
Right. Because you don't see Abraham, you don't see David, Solomon, you don't see none of them talking about their ancestors.
Okay, that's a good point. Because as you were saying that, I was remembering when Saul tried to go call up somebody that was not good. Okay.
That was Samuel.
I mean Samuel.
Yeah, that was Saul trying to raise up Samuel. Yeah, he tried to raise up Samuel because Samuel had prophesied to him. And then when Samuel died, he got caught up, and everything that he had prophesied to him overtook him. Now he wanted to raise Samuel back up.
Okay. You don't hear none of them talk, getting guidance from the people that had gone before them, right?
Right. Yeah. So, and the answer to that, which I talked about it before, but I don't know if it really registered when I was saying it. But you see, when David always talking about those giants, he says that those that go down into the pit. So what are he talking about? Those are the spirit that's in those giants, because it's a mingled spirit that came from the giant and the woman. It can't rise; it goes down. That's why he created Hades and Guyana for those mingled spirits from those giants to go down. They go down into the pit, down to Hades. But when you see, it says Abraham passed away and he ascended to his fathers, where his fathers that in heaven. They got chambers in heaven. So Israel, Adam descendants and Abraham descendants, they ascend. But those fallen angels and anything that came offshoot from them, when they pass, they ascend to the pit. They don't rise. And that's what those seven angels is for, to help them ascend. When an Israelite descendant of Adam passes away, those spirits are there to help them ascend back to heaven where they came from. That's why the Lord told Jeremiah, before you was in the womb, that spirit that's in you, before you was in the womb, I already knew you. So we live out this life on the earth, then it sins back where it came from. But those wicked spirits and those giants didn't come from heaven. So it ascends, descends to the pit, like David said. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, now I'm losing my signal.
Okay.
Love you guys.
All right. So with that being said, we're gonna go to Jasher, right? And I'm gonna read out of Jasher. I'm gonna start at chapter 41. So the story of Joseph. Okay. So you got a book of Jasher. I'm in chapter 41. It says, and at the revolution of a year, the sons of Jacob journeyed from Shechem, and they came to Hebron to their fathers Isaac, and they dwelt there with their flocks and their herds. They fed daily in Shechem, and there was in those days good and fat pastures, and Jacob and his sons and all the household dwelt in the valley of Hebron. Right. So keep in mind, Hebron. That's the same place where Moses, the mountain of God, where Moses met the angel of the Lord at in Hebron. Genesis chapter 3. Okay, in Genesis chapter 3. Okay. So it says, verse 3, and Jacob and his sons buried, back at 2. And it was in those days, in that year, being the 106th year of the life of Jacob, in the 10th year of Jacob coming from Paran, that Leah, the wife of Jacob, died and was 51 years old when she died in Hebron. Okay, it says, and Jacob and his sons buried her in the cave. Let me see. Yeah, buried her in the cave of the field of Mizpah, which is in Hebron, which Abraham had bought from the children of Heth for possession of a burial place.
And the sons of Jacob, there with their father in the valley of Hebron, all the inhabitants of the land knew their strength, and their fame went throughout the land. And Joseph and the sons of Jacob and his brother Benjamin, the sons of Rachel, and the wife of Jacob were yet young in those days, and did not go out with their brethren during their battles in all the cities of the Amorites. And when Joseph saw the strength of his brethren and their greatness, he praised them and exalted them, but he ranked himself greater than them, and he extolled himself above them. And Jacob, his father, also loved him more than any of his sons, and he was a son of his old age. And through his love toward him, he made him a coat of many colors. And when Joseph saw that his father loved him more than his brethren, he continued to exalt himself above his brethren. And he brought unto his father evil reports concerning them. And there's some, I never saw that. So it says, I want to shine a light on this right here, right quick. So you see that right here. Remember Moses, what he did. He killed the 2 Egyptian dudes in Egypt, and Moses ended up got kicked out of Egypt, and he ended up over with the Midianites, which is one of the sons of Pekut, Abraham's second wife after Sarah had died. And that's where he went to the mountain of Horeb. And the Lord of hosts was there on that mountain. But notice right here, this before the Israelites went into Egypt. Let me read it again. So this is before they went into Egypt, right? Verse 3, Jacob and his sons buried her. Go back up to verse 2. And it was in those days, this is before they went into Egypt, before Moses. It was in those days, in that year, being the 160th year of the life of Jacob, in the 10th year of Jacob coming from Padan, that Leah, the wife of Jacob, died. She was 51 years old when she died in Hebron. See that? That's the place where Moses met the Lord at. So they was already there in this place right here before they went to Egypt. Check it out. And Jacob and his sons buried her in the cave in the field of Mizpah, which is in Hebron. See that? Which Abraham had brought from the children of Heth for a possession, for a burial place. And then it says the sons of Jacob dwelt with their father in the valley of Hebron. There it is again. And all the inhabitants of the land knew their strength, and their fame went throughout the land. And Joseph, the son of Jacob, his brother and his brother Benjamin, the sons of Rachel, the wife of Jacob, were yet young in those days. So Jacob and Joseph and Benjamin is young. They're younger than the other boys, right? Because he had Rachel womb clothes. It says, were yet young in those days and did not go out. Check it out. They did not go out with their brethren during the battles. Check it out. They did not go out with their brothers during the battles in all the cities of the Amorites. Go to Genesis 15. That the Most High told Abraham about they want to say the 400 years is over here. See that? They go to Amorites. So they had a history dealing with the Amorites before they went into Egypt. See that? Amorites. Now 6. And when Joseph saw the strength of his brethren and their greatness, he praised them and extolled them, but he ranked them greater than them. So Jacob had a exalting problem, pride problem. And he said, extolled himself above them. And Jacob, his father, also loved him more than any of his sons, for he was son of his old age. And check it out. And through his love toward him, he made him a coat of many colors. And when Joseph saw that his father loved him more than his brethren, he continued to exalt himself above them. See that? Pride, right? And he brought unto his father an evil report concerning them. So now we see what
where that drama came in at. Okay, it says, and the sons of Jacob seeing the whole of Joseph's conduct toward them. See, this is why they throw him in the pit. Throw him in the pit. It says, and the sons of Jacob seeing the whole of Joseph's conduct toward them, and that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him all his days. And Joseph was 17 years old, and he was still magnifying himself, magnifying himself above his brethren, and thought of raising himself above them. At that time, he dreamed a dream, and he came unto his brothers and told them the dream. And he said unto them, I dreamed a dream, and behold, we were all binding sheaves in the field, and my sheaf rose and placed itself above the ground, and your sheaves surrounded it and bowed down to it, right? And his brethren answered him and said unto him, what meaneth this dream that thou didst dream? Or doest thou imagine in that heart to reign or rule over us? And he still came and told the thing to his father Jacob. Jacob kissed Joseph when he heard these words from his mouth, and Jacob blessed Joseph. Okay. And when the sons of Jacob saw that their father had blessed Joseph and had kissed him, and that he loved him exceedingly, they became jealous of him and hated him the more. And after this, Joseph dreamed another dream and related the dream to his father in the presence of his brethren. And Joseph said unto his father and to his brethren, behold, I have again dreamed a dream, and behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars bow down to me. And his father heard the words of Joseph in his dream, and seeing that his brethren hated Joseph on account of this matter, Jacob therefore rebuked Joseph before his brethren on account of this thing, saying, what meaneth this dream which thou hast dreamed, and this magnifying thyself before thy brethren who are older than thou art? Doest thou imagine in thy heart that I and my mother and thy 11 brethren will come and bow down to thee, that thou speakest these things? And his brethren were jealous of him on account of his words and dreams, and they continued to hate him. And Joseph reserved the dream in his heart. And the sons of Jacob went one day to feed their father's flocks in Shechem, for they were still herdsmen in those days. And while the sons of Jacob were that day feeding in Shechem, they delayed, and the time of gathering in the cattle was past, and they had not arrived. And Jacob saw that his sons were delayed in Shechem, and Jacob said within himself, peradventure the people of Shechem have risen up to fight against them, therefore they have delayed coming this day. And Jacob called Joseph his son and commanded him, saying, behold, thy brethren are feeding in Shechem this day, and behold, they have not yet come back. Go now therefore and see where they are, and bring me word back concerning the welfare of thy brethren and the welfare of the flock. And Jacob sent it, excuse me, Jacob sent his son Joseph to the valley of Hebron, and Joseph came to his father, to his brothers, to Shechem, and they could not find them. And Joseph went about the field which was near Shechem, and to see where his brethren had turned, and he missed a road in the wilderness, and knew not where he should go. And an angel of the Lord found him wandering in the road toward the field. And Joseph said unto the angel of the Lord, I seek my brethren, as thou hast not heard where they are feeding. And the angel of the Lord said unto Joseph, I saw thy brethren feeding here, and I heard them say they will go to feed in Edom. And Joseph hearkened to the voice of the angel of the Lord, and he went to his brethren in Dothan, and he found them in Dothan feeding the flock. And Joseph advanced to his brethren, and before he had come nigh unto them, they had resolved to slay him. And Simeon said to his brethren, behold, the man of dreams is coming unto us this day, and now therefore come, and let us kill him,
cast him in one of these pits that are in the wilderness. And when his father shall seek him from us, we will say, an evil beast has devoured him. And Reuben heard the words of his brethren concerning Joseph, and he said unto them, you should not do this thing. For how can we look up to our father Jacob, cast him into a pit to die there, but stretch not forth a hand upon him, spill his blood. And Reuben said this in order to deliver him from their hands, to bring him back to his father, right? And when Joseph came to his brethren, he sat before them, and they rose upon him, seized him, and smote him to the earth, and stripped their coat of many colors which he had on. And they took him, cast him into a pit, and in the pit there was no water, but serpents and scorpions. And Joseph was afraid of the serpents and scorpions that were in the pit. And Joseph cried out with a loud voice, and the Lord hid the serpents and the scorpions in the sides of the pit, and they did not harm unto Joseph. They did no harm unto Joseph. And Joseph called out from the pit to his brethren and said unto them, what have I done unto you? And in what have I sinned? Why do you not fear the Lord concerning me? Am I not of your bones and your flesh? And is not Jacob the father, my father? Why do you do this thing unto me this day? And how will you be able to look up to our father Jacob? And he continued to cry out and call unto his brethren from the pit. And he said, O Judah, Simeon, Levi, my brethren, lift me up from the place of darkness in which you have placed me, and come this day to have compassion on me, ye children of the Lord, and sons of Jacob, my father. And if I have sinned unto you, are ye not the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? If they saw an orphan, they had compassion over him, or one that was hungry, they gave him bread to eat, or one that was thirsty, they gave him water to drink, or one that was naked, and they covered him with garments. And how then will you withhold your pity from your brethren? For I am your flesh and your bones. And if I have sinned unto you, surely you will do this on account of my father. And Joseph spoke these words from the pit, and his brethren could not listen to him, nor incline their ears to the words of Joseph. And Joseph was crying and weeping in the pit. And Joseph said, oh, that my father knew this day the acts which my brethren have done unto me, and the word which they have this day spoken unto me. And all his brethren heard his cries and weeping in the pit. And his brethren went and removed themselves from the pit, so that they might not hear the cries of Joseph and the weeping in the pit. Okay. Comment so far, that's 41 of Joshua. Okay, everybody good? Okay, it's 42. And they went and sat on the opposite side about the distance of a bow shot, and they sat there to eat bread. And while they were eating, they held counsel together what was to be done with him, whether to slay him or to bring him back to his father. And they were holding the counsel when they lifted up their eyes and saw, and behold, there was a company of Ishmaelites coming at a distance by the road of Gilead, going down to Egypt. And Judah said unto them, what can it be to us if we slay our brother? Right? Peradventure God will require him from us. This then is the counsel proposed concerning him, which ye should do unto him. Behold, this company of Israelites going down into Egypt. Now therefore come, let us dispose of him to them, and let not our hands be upon him, and they will lead him along with them, and he will be lost among the people of the land, and we will not put him to death with our own hands. And the proposal pleased his brother and they did according to the words of Judah. Okay, and while they were discording about this matter, and before the company of Israelites had come upon them, 7 trading men of Midianites passed by them, and as they passed, they were thirsty, and they lifted up their eyes and saw the pit in which Joseph was emerged, and they looked, and behold, every species of bird was upon him, right? And these Midianites ran to the pit to drink water, for they thought that it contained water. And on coming before the pit, they heard the voice of Joseph crying and weeping in the pit. And they looked down into the pit, and they saw, and behold, there was a young and comely appearance, a youth of comely appearance, and was well favored. And they called unto him and said, Who art thou, and who brought thee hither, and who placed thee in this pit in the wilderness? And they all assisted to raise up Joseph, and they drew him out and brought him up from the pit, and took him and went away on their journey, and passed by his brethren. And these said unto them, Why do you do this, to take our servant from us and to go away? Surely you place this youth in the pit because he rebelled against us, and you come and bring him up and lead him away. Now then, give us back our servant. And the Midianites answered and said unto the sons of Jacob, Is this your servant, or does this man attend you? Peradventure you are all his servants, for he is more comely and well favored than any of you. And why do you all speak falsely unto us? Now therefore we will not listen to your words, nor attend to you. For we found the youth in the pit in the wilderness, and we took him, and we will therefore go on. And all the sons of Jacob approached them, and rose up to them, and said unto them, Give us back our servant, and why will you all die by the edge of a sword? And the Midianites cried out against them, and they drew their swords and approached to fight with the sons of Jacob. And behold, Simeon rose up from his seat against them, and sprang upon the ground, and drew his sword, and approached the Midianites. And he gave a terrible shout before them, so that his shouting was heard at a distance, and the earth shook at Simeon's shouting. And the Midianites were terrified on account of Simeon and the noise of his shouting, and they fled upon their faces and were exceedingly alarmed. And Simeon said unto them, Verily I am Simeon, the son of Jacob, the Hebrew, who have only with my brethren destroyed the city of Shechem and the cities of the Amorites. So shall God moreover do unto me, that if all your brethren, the people of the Midians, and also the kings of Canaan, were to come with you, they could not fight against me. Now therefore give us back the youth whom you have taken, and lest I give your flesh to the birds of the sky and the beasts of the earth. And the Midianites were more afraid of Simeon, and they approached the sons of Jacob with terror and fright, and with pathetic words, saying, Surely you have said that the young man is your servant, and that he rebelled against you, and therefore you placed him in the pit. What then will you do with a servant who rebels against his master? Now therefore sell him unto us, and we will give you all that you require of him. And the Lord was pleased to do this in order that the sons of Jacob should not slay their brother. And the Midianites saw that Joseph was a comely appearance, and well favored, and they desired him in their hearts, and were urgent to purchase him from his brother. And the sons of Jacob hearkened to the Midianites, and they sold their brethren Joseph to them for 20 pieces of silver. And Reuben, their brother, was not with them. And the Midianites took Joseph and continued their journey to Gilead. And they were going along the road, and the Midianites repented of what they had done, and having purchased the young man. And one said to the other, "What is this thing that we have done in taking the youth from the Hebrews, who is of comely appearance and well favored? Perhaps this youth is stolen from the land of the Hebrews, and why then have we done this thing? And if he should be sought for and found in our hands, we shall die through him. Now surely hardy and powerful men have sold him to us. The strength of one of whom you saw this day, perhaps they stole him from his land and their might, or with their might, and they are powerful men, and have therefore sold him to us for a small value which we gave unto them. And while they were thus discarding together, they looked, and behold, the company of Israelites, which was coming at first, and which the sons of Jacob saw, was advancing toward the Midianites. And the Midianites said unto each other, "Come, let us sell this youth to the company of the Israelites who are coming toward us, and we will take before him the little that we gave to him, and we will deliver from his evil. We'll be delivered from his evil." And they did so. And they reached the Ishmaelites, and the Midianites sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, which they had given for him to his brethren. And the Midianites went on their road to Gilead, and the Ishmaelites took Joseph, and they said, and they let him ride upon one of the camels, and they were as they were leading him to Egypt. And Joseph heard the Ishmaelites were proceeding to Egypt, and Joseph lamented and wept at this thing, that he was to be so far removed from the land of Canaan, from his father. And he wept bitterly while he was riding upon the camel. One of their men observed him and made him go down from the camel and walk on foot. And notwithstanding this, Joseph continued to cry and weep. And he said, "Oh, my father, my father." And one of the Ishmaelites rose up and smote Joseph upon the cheek, and said, and still he continued to weep. And Joseph was fatigued in his road, and was unable to proceed on account of the bitterness of his soul. And they all smote him and afflicted him in the road. And they terrified him in order that he might cease from weeping. And the Lord saw the ambition of Joseph and his trouble. And the Lord brought down upon those men darkness and confusion, and the hand of everyone that smote him became withered. And they said to each other, "What is this thing that God have done to us in the road?" And they knew not that this befell them on account of Joseph. And the men proceeded on the road, and they passed along the road to Ephesus, where Rachel was buried. And Joseph reached his mother's grave, and Joseph hastened and ran to his mother's grave and fell upon the grave and wept. And Joseph cried aloud upon his mother's grave, and he said, "Oh, my mother, O thou that didst give me birth, and awake me, and rise and awake and rise and see thy son, how he has been sold for a slave, and no one pities him. Oh, arise and see thy son weep with me on account of my troubles, and see the heart of thy brethren." Okay, arouse, my mother, arouse, awaken from thy sleep for me, and direct the battles against my brethren. Oh, how have they stripped me of my coat, and sold me already twice for a slave, and separated me from my father. And this is no one, and there is no one to pity me. Arose, and lay thy cause against them before God, and see when God will justify in judgment, and when he will condemn. Rise, O my mother, rise, awake from thy sleep, and see my father, how his soul is with me this day and could comfort him and okay and ease his heart. And Joseph continued to speak these words, and Joseph cried aloud and wept bitterly upon his mother's grave. And he ceased speaking, and from bitterness of his heart he became still as a stone upon the grave. And Joseph heard a voice speaking to him from beneath the ground, which answered to him with bitterness of heart and with a voice of weeping and praying in these words, my son Joseph, I have heard the voice of thy weeping and the voice of thy lamentations. I have seen thy tears, and I know thy troubles, my son, and it grieves me for thy sake. And abundant grief is added to my grief. Now therefore, my son Joseph, my son, hope to the Lord and wait for him, and do not fear, for the Lord is with thee, and he will deliver thee from all thy troubles. Arise, my son, go down unto Egypt with thy masters, and do not fear, for the Lord is with thee, my son. And see, she continued to speak like unto those words unto Joseph, and she was still. And Joseph heard this, and he wondered greatly at this, and he continued to weep. And after this one of the Israelites observed him crying and weeping upon the grave, and his anger was kindled against him, and he drove him from there, and he smote him and cursed him. And Joseph said unto the men, May I find grace in your sight to take me back to my father's house, and he will give you abundance of riches. And they answered him, saying, Art thou not a slave? Where is thy father? And if thou hadst a father, thou wouldst not already twice have been sold for a slave or for so little value. And their anger was kindled and aroused against him, and they continued to smite him and to chastise him. And Joseph wept bitterly. And the Lord saw Joseph's affliction, and the Lord again smote these men and chastised them, and the Lord caused darkness to envelop them upon the earth, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and the earth shook at the voice of their thunder, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and the earth shook from the voice of the thunder, and the mighty wind, and the men were terrified and knew not where they should go. And the beasts and the camels stood still, and they led them, but they would not go. They smote them, and they crouched upon the ground. And the men said to each other, What is this that God has done to us? What are our transgressions? And what are our sins that this thing has thus befallen us? And one of them answered and said unto him, Perhaps on account of the sins of the afflicting the slave, as this thing happened this day to us. Now therefore employ him strongly to forgive us, and then we shall know on whose account this evil befalleth us. And if God shall have compassion over us, then we shall know that all this cometh to us on account of the sins of afflicting the slave. And the men did so, and they supplicated Joseph and pressed him to forgive them. And they said, We have sinned to the Lord and to thee. Now therefore vouchsafe to request of thy God that he should put away his death from among us, for we have sinned to him. Right? It says in 48, and Joseph did according to these words, and the Lord hearkened to Joseph, and the Lord put away the plagues which he had afflicted upon these men on account of Joseph. And the beast rose up from the ground, and they conducted them, and they went on, and the raging storm abated, and the earth became tranquil, and the men proceeded on their journey to go down in Egypt. And the men knew that this evil had befallen them on account of Joseph. And they said to each other, Behold, we know that it was on account of his affliction that this evil befall us. Now therefore, why should we bring this death upon our souls. Let us hold counsel what to do with this slave. And one answer said, surely he told us to bring him back to his father, and therefore come. Let us take him back, and we will go to the place that he would tell us, and take him and take from his family price that we gave for him, and we will then go away. And one answered again and said, behold, this counsel is very good, but we cannot do so, for the way is very far from us, and we cannot go out by the road. And one more answered and said unto them, this is the counsel to be adopted. We will not swerve from it. Behold, we are this day going to Egypt, and when we shall have come to Egypt, we will sell him there at a high price, and we will be delivered from his evil. And this thing pleased the men. They did so, and they continued their journey to Egypt with Joseph. Okay, that was 42, Jasher. Anybody have any questions? We're gonna stop right there and pick it up tomorrow in our reading through the Tanakh. Anybody have any questions or comments? Yeah, so what I want to shout out on before we go is notice that this story right here reminds me of jokes of two places. When they sold Joseph for 20 pieces of silver, we can see where they got that from in the New Testament. And not only that, with Jonah and the whale, right? It says, let me see, 43. Jasher 42 and 42, Jasher 42 and verse 42. Joseph said unto the men, may I find grace in your sight to take me back. Okay, let me get down to where was it? 44. And the Lord saw Joseph's affliction, right? And the Lord again smote these men and chastised them, and the Lord caused the darkness to envelop them upon the earth, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and the earth shook at the voice of the thunder, and the mighty men, and the men were terrified and knew not where they should go. Same thing on the boat with Jonah, right? Then 45, and the beast and the camels stood still, and they led them, but they would not go, and they smote them, and they crouched upon the ground, and the men said to each other, what is this that God has done to us? Right? Same thing on the boat about Jonah. What are our transgressions? And what are our sins that this thing has befallen us? That's what they said on the boat. And one of the men answered and said unto them, perhaps on account of the sins of afflicting his slave. For slave has this happened this day to us. Now therefore employ him strongly to forgive us, and then we shall know on account of whose evil befalleth us. And if God shall have compassion over us, then we shall know that that all this cometh to us on account of the sins of afflicting this slave. So you can see the same parallels with Jonah, right? What happened to Jonah? They said that the waves in the ocean was because of Jonah. The Hebrew was there, and then they threw Jonah overboard. And we see the same situation right here. Okay. Anybody got any question? Comment before we go?
How many kids on the road? Maybe.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was saying I'm good.
Okay. So that being said, I want to say shalom. Shalom and another shalom. I see y'all tomorrow for reading through the Tanakh at 7 o'clock Central Time. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.